So, considering I have a bunch of co-ops in the work and how that eats up a lot of time, today's commentary is gonna be really short. With that said, here's the context. A while ago, Nintendo announced that they'll be working with the movie studio Illumination and its CEO and producer Chris Meledandri for the upcoming Mario movie. The best known for movies like Despicable Me, Minions, Sing, The Lorax, and such. The reaction to that was mixed. Some people were excited, some people were gloomy at the idea of the Mario movie existing. One of those people being the one I'm covering today, who goes by the name of the Trash Thrasher. Violation on I might know. They made a video and listed the reason why said movie will suck, and needless to say, I have issues with it. I'm gonna need some Dairy Queen for this one. Wow, this intro is crap. I started with the most apparent issue, the text doesn't match up with the music you use, as you just put the text whenever you felt like it. Speaking of, the text doesn't do much movement that would make interesting. Secondly, there's not a lot going on that would make your intro interesting. Now, I can understand your situation if Power Director doesn't let you do those fancy animations or keyframing. So my recommendation for you is to get another app that will allow you to do those fancy animations / keyframing. If you use a tablet / smartphone, then I recommend something like KineMaster. If you use a PC or a computer, then I would highly recommend getting Sony because of those fancy features.
Disclaimer, this video is not meant for anyone who is under the age of 13, so if you're a kid or a My Hero Academia fanboy, please leave. But to those who are over the age of 13, enjoy the video.
Ah yes, this video is totally appropriate for people under the age of 13. Now, I'm gonna be skipping his intro statement, but there was one thing you should take note of. This guy is trying to outdo... Wait, how the fuck do you spell his name? Eminem. There we go. This guy is trying to outdo Eminem with how fast he speaks.
So the first reason is that it's being made by Illumination. It is being made by Illumination, aka the worst animation company ever. It is the absolute worst. It's worse than Disney, it's worse than DreamWorks, it's worse than Pixar, it's worse than Sony, it's worse than every other animation studio on the planet. Every single Illumination movie is bad. Every single Illumination movie is complete garbage. Look at their track record. Garbage, garbage, garbage. Sing, garbage. Despicable Me 1, 2, and 3, garbage. That god-awful Minions movie, trash. Everything that they make is garbage. Secret Life of Pets, trash. Everything. The Lorax or whatever the fuck that movie was called, it was trash. Everything that they have made is garbage.
Alright, as someone who has watched Illumination movies, in my opinion, they tend to be a hit or a miss. Let's use The Lurks for example. While it tried to bring new story to the new audience, it felt like it was just hammering the environmental message down too much to the point where that's all the movie cared about. And it missed the point of the book too. They make movies that are 100% tested and safe, so there's nothing offensive or dark or risky in them. There was a lot of criticize about Illumination, but you certainly didn't give any info about it, nor did you get any criticism towards Illumination. You just say, every Illumination movie sucks, without any elaboration and nothing else. You can't just say vague statements like this with no elaboration and then expect us to understand to move along. This segment is overall completely weak.
And what makes people think that this Mario movie is gonna be, good? What makes people think that it's gonna be different from the other ones? Oh, because Shigeru Miyamoto's on the project? No, that does not mean it's gonna be a good movie. Just because Shigeru Miyamoto's on the project, I think he's producing it or something, that does not mean it's gonna be good. In fact, that makes me even more worried for this movie, cause you saw how much faith he had in trash, absolute garbage casting choices, like Jack Black playing Bowser, Seth Rogen Donkey Kong. Are you crazy?
On paper, this whole just because X is involved doesn't mean the movie's gonna be good could have been a decent argument since Miyamoto is just as proud of screwing it up as anyone else is, but unfortunately this doesn't hold up. In case you want to argue that he's part of the reason Paper Mario took the direction it did, let me remind you that intelligent systems changed the entire philosophy for Paper Mario because they completely misunderstood what Miyamoto wanted out of the spin-off. A lot of people like to use the quote Miyamoto said along the lines of just a part of GC version, but when you look at the other lines, things start to make more sense. It can be reasonably suggested that Miyamoto was just suggested to advance the gameplay in a similar way to how the 1000-Year Door improved from Paper Mario 64, having the same basic gameplay, but still feeling quite different, instead of feeling more like a DLC to the 1000-Year Door. Funnily enough, Miyamoto didn't want the sticker system, as shown by these comments. I do apologize for this tangent, but I thought I could explain how Miyamoto is not responsible for the bizarre changes for the Paper Mario series. Heck, there's even a Reddit thread that goes about the same topic. I'll link a link in the description if you guys want to read that thread. Another reason why this doesn't actually hold up is because Miyamoto has actually dabbled in multiple animated projects before, and has directed the Pikmin shorts and the Star Fox Zero animation. Those two projects being considered by many people to be really solid and fun to watch. The fact that Miyamoto is this heavily involved in the Mario movie shows he's trying to make this an entertaining movie.
Actually, scratch that. I'm gonna be busy for the next century.
Speaking of Chris Pratt, speaking of that, it was just recently announced that he's not going to be doing an Italian accent in his Mario voice, in his Mario performance. Why? Why? Having an Italian accent is key to Mario's character, his entire character. That is objective. That is facts. Objectively, having an Italian accent is key to the character of Mario. I mean, how is he going to make Mario's voice sound? How is Chris Pratt going to make Mario's voice sound? If he's not going to be Italian, what is he going to be? What is he going to be? Just, a normal standard guy? Normal standard Chris Pratt? Emmett from the Lego movie? Is that how he's going to sound? If so, that is garbage.
Well, what about his TV shows in the 90s where Mario was voiced by Walker Bone, which, by the way, was portrayed as a broken guy?
Mama? Mama Luigi? Luigi, King Koopa has the princess locked up in his Coney Island disco palace.
Heck, before Charles took the role of voicing Mario in video games, there was a voice actor named Mark Radu who voiced Mario, Luigi, and Bowser in Hotel Mario back in 1994.
Dear pesky plumbers, the Koopalings and I have taken over the Mushroom Kingdom. The princess is now a permanent guest at one of my 7 Koopa hotels. I dare you to find her if you can.
Whether or not it's good is up to debate, and I do agree that Mario being voiced by a different voice actor instead of Charles Manning is a bummer, since it's the most iconic one. But it doesn't change the fact that Mario had different voice actors that portrayed him differently. Actually, going back to your point, you once again didn't cite any citation to back up your claim about Chris Pratt not having the Italian accent. So how can anyone take your word seriously? Now, I will give you some credit since looking at the source, Chris Pratt says he had the experience to find the right approach to playing the iconic plumber.
Did you say that? Whenever their masculinity is threatened, they shrink in size.
Now, the next topic that I want to talk about is the possibility of the terrible character design that we are going to see in this movie. And when I say that there's a possibility of the character design in this movie being garbage and terrible, I mean there's a big possibility of the character design in this movie of Mario, Luigi, Peach, Bowser, etc. being terrible and garbage in this movie. I mean, have you seen Illumination's character designs? Have you seen how bad they are? They are so disgusting. They are repulsive. They are ugly. They are some of the ugliest character designs I have ever seen in any form of media, right next to the Kung Fu Panda character designs. No, actually, they're worse. They are worse than the Kung Fu Panda character designs. I am serious. They are 100 times worse, honestly. Now, maybe there's a slight possibility that they're just gonna look like how they do in the games, but it's most likely gonna be Illumination putting their own stupid shit on the characters and making them look like garbage, just like the rest of their characters in their movies. I mean, if their designs are anything like this, I'm gonna fucking puke.
Okay, before I address your main point, I want to point out that what people like you find Illumination design garbage or good is subjective. So while you may find it a pleasant to look at, someone else could find the designs funny or good. Now with that out of the way, we ultimately don't know what the designs for the Mario movie is gonna look like. We can speculate whether or not the designs will be good or bad, but I want to touch on your wording.
Now, maybe there's a slight possibility that they're just gonna look like how they do in the games,
And
I mean, there's a big possibility of the character design in this movie of Mario, Luigi, Peach, Bowser, etc. being terrible and garbage in this movie.
emphasize on possibility, meaning that this info isn't definitive and more likely speculative on your end. So why are you putting your speculation as your definitive reason on the Mario movie will be terrible when the character designs aren't even out yet?
And now we are at the final reason as to why this Mario movie is going to be trash, which is modern Nintendo. I mean, do I have to explain what I mean by modern Nintendo? I mean, modern Nintendo is garbage. For anyone who has a functioning brain, you should know that modern Nintendo is complete trash and garbage. And this film is obviously going to be a part of modern Nintendo. I mean, the cast was announced at a modern Nintendo Direct back in September. It's obviously a part of modern Nintendo. So even if Illumination wasn't making this movie, it would still be bad because, you know, modern Nintendo.
So you're telling me that your final reason as to why the Mario movie will suck is because the modern Nintendo? What? Fucking what? Like, you could have argued about things not feeling much of the same since the glory days are behind them, depending on when the glory days for Nintendo were for you. But you certainly didn't bring any of that up, and you certainly didn't elaborate on why or how modern Nintendo is trash. But even if you did, what Nintendo does for business decisions is not equivalent to decisions to entertainment, movies, and shorts. That's like saying modern Nintendo is trash, therefore the movie will be trash as well. Even though different decisions for different products don't correlate. And after that point, the trasher just makes his final statement that I have nothing to say, and the video finally ends. And God almighty, am I glad it's over. So, final thoughts. I'm gonna be upfront with you, it's clear that you didn't put any effort on your video. This video lacks elaboration on your points and lacks any citation to back up your claim. You can set whatever expectations and hope you have for the Mario movie for whatever reason, but this is also why this commentary exists. You really need to reevaluate on how you're gonna judge that movie and base on something else. Because as it stands, it doesn't hold up. And with that, I'm gonna pull the plug here. So this has been Kagura 101, aka another Anzu Mangadario fan 102, behind Asu with 101. And I'll see you all whenever I post a new video. Later everyone.